بنرحب بطلبة الصف السادس في منصة البث المباشر لمحافظة الإسكندرية. أهلا بكم مع مادة اللغة الإنجليزية. Welcome our dear students, Junior 6. Today we are going to tackle Unit 5, Amazing Journeys. Let's start. Who are these? Do you know who are these famous people? Ibn Battuta, Vasco da Gama, and Marco Polo. Can you guess who are these? They are famous explorers and travelers. What did they do? They traveled from place to another and wrote about their journeys. They wrote about their journeys يعني كتبوا عن الرحلات بتاعتهم. This helped us وده ساعدنا في إيه بقى؟ To know about this civilization and culture of the countries they traveled to. Let's learn. We have some important vocab in this unit. We have a journey, a voyage, a trip, a flight. Journey is the act of traveling from one place to another, making a trip or having a trip, okay, or a voyage or a flight. But voyage mainly when we describe a trip by ship. A trip is a journey for a short time. Journey for a short time, maybe 3 days, a week. A flight when we have a traveling or a journey by plane. So if you are traveling by ship, you can say it's a voyage. If you are traveling by plane, it's a flight. Let's listen.
Listen and read. Where did Ingy go on vacation? What was her favorite thing during the trip?
What are you reading, Ingy? Oh, hi, Rana. It's my travel diary. I want to remember my family's vacation in Croatia a few years ago. That's a good idea. What was your favorite thing about the vacation? I think it was visiting the Marco Polo Museum. Really? Where is that? It's on an island in Croatia called Korčula. We took a trip there. It's a really interesting museum all about the travels of Marco Polo. Who was Marco Polo? He was an Italian explorer and one of the first people from the West to visit China. He went there in the 13th century and wrote a diary about his experiences. It's called The Travels of Marco Polo. How did people get to China in those days? It's very far away. You couldn't just fly there or travel by train. It was very difficult. The journey took years. Marco Polo went on a long voyage by sea. He sailed by ship from Venice to Korčula and then on to Iran. When he got to Hormuz, he stopped and went across the desert. He rode a camel all the way to China. Wow! What an adventure! Yes. And imagine arriving in China almost 800 years ago. It was so different then. The museum had a lot of things from ancient China. It really made the story of Marco Polo come to life.
Okay, so what was she reading? What was Angie reading? She was reading her diary. The diary was about her vacation. She told us that she visited Marco Polo Museum. Okay, and Marco Polo actually traveled from here, from Europe, okay, by ship. Then he went through the desert to China. So it was a long journey from here to there. Okay, it was about 800 years ago. People didn't have planes or fast ways of traveling, okay? They used traditional ways, ships and camels. Let's learn. A vacation. A vacation. It's a holiday. Museum or museum. Both are correct. We can say museum. We can say museum. A place where we can see statues and all things. An explorer. An explorer. Someone who explores new places and writes about it. Century, a period of 100 years. A diary, something you write about personal experience, especially when you are using I and expressing yourself. Far away, at a distance. It's not near, it's far. Travel, moving from place to another. Ancient, which means very old. When you have something very old, we can say it's ancient. We usually say ancient Egyptians, ancient Egypt. We have some expressions in the text with the noun for travel below. Number 1, went on a journey. I usually say I will go on a journey. In the past, we say went on a journey, rode a camel, took a trip, went on a voyage, sailed by ship, travel by train. Let's listen about the two cultures. We are going to listen about a culture and two cultures, two different cultures actually. The word cultures mean ثقافة. When you are talking about culture, you are talking about history of some places, okay?
Listen and read. Which two cultures are mentioned?
Almost 100 years ago, local people in the small village of Nok in Nigeria, a country in West Africa, found some unusual objects under the ground. These objects were beautiful clay sculptures of humans. The sculptures were all in the same style. They had large eyes and complicated hairstyles. They were usually in a sitting position with their hands on their legs. The quality of the work was incredible. A team of archaeologists went to the area to find out more. They found many similar sculptures in an area of hundreds of kilometers around Nok. There were also iron and stone farming tools. The archaeologists agreed these were most likely from a very advanced culture from around 500 BCE to 200 CE. It was a civilization which had the ability to work iron and stone to make tools, and which made beautiful art. They called this culture the Nok civilization, after the village where sculptures were found. Some believe that the sculptures were the inspiration for the famous works of art by the later Ife people, who were in Nigeria from the 11th to the 15th century CE. The Ife were famous for making beautiful metal sculptures of human heads. However, there is no written information about the Nok people, so we can only learn about them from their art. Their culture is still a mystery today.
So We have two different cultures here.
Caravan.
We learned about them from their stitches, their works, their artworks, okay? Through these artworks and stitches, we learned about the two cultures. The two different cultures were in two different places. We learned about their clay sculptures and the shapes they draw and they made for inspiration for the famous artworks. We have some new vocabulary here. We have the iron sculpture. Okay, this is a sculpture we saw in the last photo. Civilization. The civilization is that created the culture and history that created by some people. This is what we call حضارة. Clay is the material that we use to make stitches. Advanced means modern. Local people, the people who live in some place. Archaeologists, these are people who work on statues and old and ancient objects. They are searching for monuments, author. These are scientists who work with monuments. Style, the shape and the design. This is what we call style. Culture, famous. Mystery, something have a secret, something not clear for us. Information means data. Look at the bold words in the text, match them with their meaning. The first one is done. Clay, it's a type of earth that is sticky when wet. When you put water on the clay, it becomes sticky and you can make it and shape it as you like. Inspiration. An example others use to help create new ideas. Tools, objects we use to make or do things. Axes, things we use to cut trees or wood. Advanced, far ahead in development, something developed. Discovery, when someone finds something that people didn't know about. Today we are going to talk about what? We are going to talk about the language, the grammar part, about the past simple. The past simple to talk about finished actions or situations in the past. Something in the past. حاجة عدت مرت خلاص it's over. From the point of speaking الوقت اللي أنا بتكلم فيه بيبقى الأكشن ده it was past ماضي. We usually include time phrase. بنستخدمه مع time phrase like yesterday, last week, or last month, or last year, 3 years ago, 2 days ago. These are time expressions for the past simple. But not always. Some common verbs are irregular in past simple. For example, be, go, find. For the past simple, we have two types of verbs. We have the regular verbs. We said that in the previous unit. Regular verbs, we add ed, like play, played, watch, watched. Here we are going to talk about irregular verbs. Like be, it will be was or were, go, went, have, had. For example, when we say archaeologists went to an area to find out more. Okay? They had unusual triangular eyes or complicated hairstyle. For verb to be I, he, she, it, they take was. For you, we, they, we use were. So I say, I was at school yesterday. But when I say we were at school yesterday. Let's check. Here we have some verbs. We need to put it in the correct form. Faris was angry with his brother yesterday. We dash a great time at the carnival. Have, we need the past symbol of have is, yes, had. Maggie and Jamila pizza for us last night. Make, it's made, yes. My family on a vacation last year. We need the past symbol of go, which is went. Nader and Walid in my class last year, be. Nader and Walid plural, we'll put where. The archaeologists many old tools. Found, yes. So, verb to be was or were. Here, Faris is singular. We will add what? We will add was. We had. Have, the past symbol of have is had. Make, made. Make, made. Go, went. Go, went. Be, where. Because Nader and Walid plural, they take where. Find, found. To make the negative form of the past symbol, we use didn't plus the infinitive verb. We use didn't plus the infinitive verb. The infinitive form of the verb. For example, when I say, we didn't have a vacation this year, we didn't have. To make the question, you usually start by did. Did Dalida find her book? Did Dalida find her book? Yes, she did, or no, she didn't. We'll answer by yes. Yes, she did, or no, she didn't. But make sure that you are not using verb to be. With verb to be, it's different. Was she happy in New York? No, she wasn't happy there. With verb to be, we use was or were at the beginning of the question. Let's circle the correct answer. Hani didn't, yes, didn't go. We can't put went because didn't is followed by go. Didn't لازم يجي بعدها الverb in the infinitive form. Didn't go. I can't say didn't went. Did your mother? Did your mom? We have did here. Also, we'll have the infinitive. Yes. Did your mom make? Yes, she did. I can't say didn't. Didn't usually comes with no. If I say no, no, she didn't. But yes, yes, she did. We didn't have a good meal in the restaurant because have is the infinitive. The water in the sea wasn't warm. And be careful because water is uncountable. So إن إحنا بنعملها as a singular كاسم singular not plural. We say the water in the sea wasn't warm. Where did you? Did is followed by infinitive. So we add find. Yes. They, because the plural, they takes what? Was or were? Were in my bag. Now we are going to read about Marco Polo again.
Listen and read. What did the desert look like to Marco Polo? Why?
Marco Polo was 21 when, in 1275, he went into the Gobi Desert for the first time. He was fascinated by the sand dunes, which moved with each step the camels made. Some of the dunes were 60 meters tall and 20 meters long, and their shapes were always changing. The wind made them move and roll like huge yellow waves. In fact, the local people called the Gobi Desert the Dry Sea in their language. The dromedaries in the caravan moved slowly up and down the dunes, swaying like big ships over the ocean. They went toward Lop Nur, the last village, before the empty wasteland of the desert. Marco knew that after this place, there was nothing for thousands of kilometers. No people, no plants, no water. It was a mysterious and dangerous place. By day, it was boiling hot. By night, it was freezing cold. Sometimes there was snow. They went on silently, but often the wind made strange noises, like voices singing and drums playing far away. There were many strange legends about this desert. People said that travelers who were lost long ago in the desert wandered there still. Before they left Lopnor, Marco made sure they had enough food and water for the men and the animals to last for 1 month. After exactly 30 days of traveling across that frightening, empty land, they finally saw the green line of Noah Oasis on the horizon. They had no water and no food left, and the animals were exhausted, but their desert adventure was over. They were in China.
Unit 5. Story.
Now, we are going to read about what? We read that Marco Polo went to China. We have some new vocab like fascinated, sand dunes, waves, boiling. Here, he told us it was boiling. It was boiling hot. Boiling hot means it's very hot. When you are in the desert, it was boiling hot. Silently. When you are working with no sound, you are working silently. Shapes. We have different shapes. Triangle, square, circle. Nothing. Freezing cold. When it's so cold, I can say freezing cold. They made sure, Marco Polo made sure, to make sure of something, to be sure. Oasis is a place in the middle of the desert where you can find water and plants and so on. They depend on the underground water, مياه جوفية. And this is oasis, which means واحة. Exhausted means very tired. We have the word adventure. Okay? They did a great adventure with Marco Polo. Now we will match the words with the meaning. Fascinated by means very interested. When you see something wonderful, you are fascinated. You are so interested. Caravan, a group of camels and people traveling together. Swaying, moving from side to side. Wasteland, a landscape where nothing lives. Wandered, moved about without direction. You go from one place to another. Nightmare, a bad dream. Again, fascinated by, very interested in. Caravan, a group of camels or people traveling together. Swaying means what? Moving from one side to another. And we call the sway. I go to the park and have the sway. We call it sway because you are moving from here to there. Wasteland, a landscape where nothing lives. Wandered, moved without a direction. Nightmare, it's a bad dream. Now we are going to talk about another type of grammar, which is the difference between adjective and adverb. We have some words here: dangerous, empty, frightening, lost, mysterious, silently, slowly. What's the difference between an adjective and an adverb? For an adjective, we usually use what? We usually use a word to describe a noun. It's a word to describe what? To describe a noun. When I say my mobile is expensive, I described my mobile with the is expensive. Dangerous. Lion is a dangerous animal. Empty. My bottle is empty. Frightening means scaring. Okay, it was a frightening night. Lost. When I say I'm lost. Okay, they were lost in the desert. Mysterious. Something I can't explain. This is mysterious. Slowly is the adverb. When I say I am walking slowly, I describe what? I use the adverb to describe the verb, the action. Not me. I'm not describing me. I'm describing my action, the walking. I was walking quickly. Okay, silently. They moved silently without any sound. When you turn the adjective to an adverb, we usually add ly. We have some irregular adjectives, but now concentrate in this. When you add ly to the adjective, لما نضيف ly للadjective, you turn the adjective from adjective to adverb. When I say slowly, slow, you add ly, so it's slowly. Silently, silently, you add ly, so it's an adverb. Now we are going to listen for two different sounds. Ja and ja. Listen.
Exercise 1. Look, listen, and repeat. 1. Huge. 2.
Fridge.
3.
Measure.
4.
Treasure.
Exercise 2. Listen. Underline the sound j or j. Then write the words in the correct column in the table. 1.
Usually.
2.
Age.
3.
Joke.
4.
Leisure.
5.
Asia.
6.
Dangerous.
7.
Language.
8.
Television.
9.
Cage.
Exercise 4. Listen, read, and repeat.
Now we listen to the different sounds. We have ja and ja. When I say huge, huge, not huge, it's huge. Fridge, fridge. For ja, we say measure, treasure. We can read this again, usually, usually. So it's ja, Asia, television, dangerous, leisure, leisure, leisure or leisure. Both are correct. Language, language, age, joke, age. This is just, so we have ja, ja sound and ja sound. Let's move for the writing part. For the writing part, our diary has features that are different from other types of text. Has short paragraphs. You don't have to need long paragraphs, okay? Just each one about what happened on one single day, is written in a informal style and uses the first pronouns like I, we, and my. Describe the writer's thoughts, feelings, and opinions. Opinions يعني آراء. We can use thoughts, our thoughts, which go in the trip or in the journey. Feelings, how do you feel? Happy, sad. Usually describes people, places, and experience. We use a diary to write about experience, a trip, a journey, about my personal life, about my personal experience. Let's have a model, نموذج about this writing.
A diary, 6th of January. Today, I had an amazing experience. I went on a felucca over Nile. A felucca is a traditional Egyptian sailing boat. It's made of wood. A tall man called Kareem was the captain of the boat. A felucca is difficult to sail, but Kareem was very strong and had the skills to do it. The trip was amazing. A man called Kareem was the captain of the boat. A felucca is difficult to sail, but Kareem was very strong and had the skills to do it. The trip was amazing. We went slowly down the river in the warm sunshine. The boat had 2 white sails which moved gently in the wind. It was so quiet and peaceful, a lovely way to travel. We stopped to see some incredible things along the way, too. I saw the pyramids of Giza for the first time in my life. They were awesome. The pyramids were huge and the stones were the color of gold. The Great Pyramid, the tallest of the 3 pyramids, is 147 meters high. It was wonderful. In the afternoon, we had a delicious lunch on board the felucca and there was a man playing traditional Egyptian music on an oud. He played beautifully and the music was magical and relaxing. What a day! I had such a wonderful experience.
As you can see, here we are talking about personal experience. The writer uses the pronoun I to describe the personal experience. I went on a felucca on the river Nile. Felucca is a traditional and started explaining the idea of felucca, gives a definition. Then he started to describe the captain, a tall, serious man called Kareem. Felucca is difficult to sail, and so on. He started to talk about the journey and the boat and describing the sail. It was warm and wind. Here we have warm wind. It was quiet and peaceful. A lovely way to travel. We stopped to see some incredible things. Here I saw the pyramids and started writing about the personal experience. In the afternoon, another idea, which was lunch. Having lunch on the felucca and listening to the traditional music and writing the opinion. I had a wonderful experience. I had such a wonderful experience. This is what? This is my opinion. I'm writing about my opinion. So in the diary, use the pronoun I or we or my. You can use some adjectives to describe your opinion. You can state some experiences, some opinions, some thoughts. Read the diary entry again and answer the questions. Write full sentences. Well, where did the writer go? The writer went on a trip down the Nile on a felucca. How does she describe the captain of the boat? A tall, a serious man. She described him as a tall, serious man. What was the mood on the ship? It was amazing. What did the writer think of the Great Pyramid? It was wonderful, ancient, and mysterious. What did they do in the afternoon? They had delicious lunch. How was the music? It was magical, dreamy, and relaxing. So we talked about the diary and how to write a diary, okay, and how to choose the adjectives suitable to your writing. Good luck and see you next week with Unit 6 and the end of the first term. Goodbye, Mrs. Iman Abdul Latif.